The first, let's say, 2 weeks of college are like just this endless barrage of like scanning the dining hall, scanning the dorms, and just looking for like who you want to sleep with. And then looking at your roommate and saying like, is this guy an asset in my endeavors, or is he kind of holding me back, and do I need to move on? So my roommate was like the dude that I would never, ever, ever be friends with if he wasn't right next to me all the fucking time. So I'm like, I tell stories for fun, okay, out loud. Dan read Kerouac for fun. He read Hemingway for fun. He would lay in his bed and listen to Rage Against the Machine on his headphones for fun. And he wasn't really getting us out there. And because of that, it took me a while to like warm up to this guy. And I'm sure in a million years, had I just seen Dan, I would have never been his friend. But we were together, we were together, we were together. And so little by little, I started to realize that Dan was this like super interesting and amazing person who was so far removed and so different from me. And so a great example is I finally got him to like come out into one of those like awkward dorm parties where everybody's like standing and whatever. And Dan laid down on the floor in somebody's dorm room and pulled out 1980 fucking 4. And I was like, man, this guy's gonna kill my chance of getting laid. And the opposite happened. All the girls were like, who is this guy reading 1984 on the floor? So then Dan went through this phase where he stopped showering. I went to an extremely hippie college. He didn't do this because he was a hippie. He did this because he forgot to shower. And Dan, this is a time, okay, I'm 38 years old. So this was a time when it was still very cool and very woke for a white person to have dreadlocks. And Dan actually accidentally had a dreadlock on the back of his head. It was the biggest fucking dreadlock I've ever seen, and he didn't know about it. We had to tell him. We were like, Dan, you have a dread. And he's like, really? And the girls were like, who is this guy with the magical dread? So, but here's the best Dan story. The best Dan story. Dan was a trust fund baby, okay, and I was a nut. And I applied to the study abroad program. It was an incredible program, and they didn't accept financial aid. It was $10,500, and I was literally begging Dan for enough money so that I could get sour cream on my burritos at that point. Dan was like, 10,000? I guess I could do that for you. And I said like, no, it's 10,000. Like, it's not 10. He's like, yeah, we'll figure it out, whatever. And I said, okay, I'm not going to pay you back for like 15 years. It's like, that's totally fine, what do I care? So, that's Dan, okay? So Dan sent me to Europe for 6 months. So, what a lovely guy. Now, here's where the story gets super fucked up, so I apologize. Okay, Dan, when we were seniors in college, Dan was dating a very lovely woman named April. And college is a weird time when you're not sure who's like really together and who's kind of together, and they were like that. So one night, we're all in our living room. We had lived together in a house at this point. April is between me and Dan. Everybody's drinking. Dan falls asleep first, and April starts touching me in a way to insinuate she might want to sleep with me. And I'm a terrible person. So I said, shh. And we tiptoed to my room, which is about, I swear to God, yeah, I'm sorry, okay, I'm a bad person. So, I'm like James. So, we tiptoed to my room, thin-ass fucking walls, okay? We're like 8 inches from Dan, and I have sex with his kind of girlfriend, but not really girlfriend, okay? The next day, she sneaks out, okay? He's extremely upset, and he comes to me and he's like, dude, I don't think she's into me, and I'm super into her. And I said, oh yeah, he said, I just wasn't getting the vibe last night, like she was into me. And I started to realize I didn't make a mistake. I made like a really big mistake to like one of the best people I've ever met. So, 4 minutes? Sorry, buzzkill. Okay, so that's a mistake, and that's a never again. Here's where the story gets super shitty, and you guys are gonna throw eggs at me at this point. Like 3 months later, I know that Dan loves this girl, and I know that they're off again, and I should have stayed away. And like 3 months later, one of her friends starts hitting on me at this party, and the friend says, hey, you should stay over, and I say, okay. And while the friend and I are starting to know each other better, April comes in, and it becomes apparent to me that I can have a threesome or a really good friend named Dan. And I'm a terrible person, so I choose the threesome, okay? Mind you, it was like a 2.5 sum, they really liked each other, these two women, and they kind of accepted me, but barely. So this is how I throw it away. Okay, now, 10 years later, Dan doesn't know, okay? Whatever. So 10 years later, I'm in line to get my STD check, and I'm doing that thing that you've all done, sorry, no assumptions, where you've all maybe done, which is you start to list out who you've slept with, and what you regret, and what you're going to never again, and then you make another column in the spreadsheet for who used a condom, and then you make another column in the spreadsheet for like, was it memorable, etc. And my list gets really funny and really interesting because I had a ton of like different columns to whatever. So I start to show it to all of my friends and say, look how funny this spreadsheet is. And I'm such a fucking idiot, I show it to Dan. And it says April, and that was his girlfriend's name. So after getting away with this terrible thing for like 15 years, Dan finds out. He doesn't take it very well, and it's super upsetting to him. And to this day, this is 10 years ago, we're still not friends. Okay? So it's very hard to say to a friend, you know what, I'll never again fuck your girlfriend twice. I promise. Like, that's like, so my never again for Dan, if I'm in your RSS feed still, is I will never, ever, ever in my life have such a distance between how awesome somebody is and how terrible I am.